So when it comes to the first call, the last thing that you want to do is ask them out. Every guy who calls will ask out the girl the first time. But if you don't do this, the girl's going to think, wow, this guy really is different. And it's going to build so much rapport, so much attraction. It's incredible. So the last thing you want to do on the first call is ask her out. That's a big no-no. Because you don't need to, but you can just call her the next day, and it'll be a 5-minute call. Two other things I wanted to talk about is once you get the number, I want you to stick in there. The average man gets the number and is like, I've got the number, I'm safe, another notch on my belt, and then he leaves. It doesn't really rub off well with the woman, because if you stick in, let's say you get a number 70% of the way into the interaction and you spend the extra 30% just still talking to her after that, it will communicate to her that she's different, that you want to actually talk to her, that you want to spend time with her, and it's not just a number, it's not just, another thing that you can chalk up in your room and say, okay, now I've got a 14 number. That is not the way to go about it, and you'll really, really communicate that you're very different and that you have a lot higher value than the average guy, because you're doing things the exact opposite. When I say the exact opposite, I'm like, hey, how are you? Like drop it to the ground. But the exact opposite within reason. Just like when you do get their number, that's a huge pull. An attraction is based on push-pull. If you push someone away too much, you're not going to come across as a nice guy. But if you pull them in too much, you're going to come across as needy and too much of a nice guy. So attraction, and we talk about this in the third lesson, attraction is based on pushing and pulling. And it's a fine balance, but once you get it right, you can attract anyone. Anyone, even when it comes to business, or even when it comes to, talking to friends. It's attraction all around, across the board, when you know how to push-pull. So when you get the number, that's a big pull. You get someone's number, it's saying, I want to talk to you, I want to have more of a long-term connection with you because now I have your number. So it's a big pull. So you want to play that down. And I do it in the video on the homepage. I'll call you when I'm drunk and lonely, or if you're talking about something, let's say we're talking about Moroccan food. I'll call you next time I eat Moroccan food. Something like that. It doesn't really matter what it is, but it's a softener. It really plays down the number. So it shows that you're confident enough to make a joke about it. You're confident enough not to put too much emphasis on the number, and that's a really, really attractive trait. There's so much more to talk about. So it is just unbelievably, incredibly easy, and I can't wait to share with you these 4 magic things that you can do to get these numbers and turn them into dates, which will then turn into a whole lot more. I'm not even going to go into it now, but it's incredible. And I use mental hardwires, little steps that people can't help but comply with them. It's almost impossible not to comply with them. So rejection is not an option, just like being unattractive is not an option. So if you go and if you click the button below, let's go do lesson 2, and let's get it started now.